Welcome back to the channel. This is Painful Pages, and welcome to my first monthly TBR video. So this one's going to be for January 2026. It doesn't really feel possible that we can be about to go into 2026. Doesn't even feel like that can be a year, but here we are. So for this month, I'm going in sort of with low expectations in terms of how much I'm going to read, and if I end up reading more, then I'll adjust the videos as we go on. But as this is the first one that I'm doing of this, I thought I'd go a little bit conservative. So I'm going to have 4 books that I'm planning on reading this month, and 2 individual volumes of manga, and then I'm going to be starting a new series as well. So for the books that I'm going to be reading in January, the first one I want to go over is a sequel to one that was in my top books of 2025, which I will link up here somewhere, but it'll also be at the end of the video and also in the description down below. So if you're interested in taking a look at that, please do. But that first book is Stay in the Light by A.M. Shine, which is the sequel to the Watchers, which, as you can tell by what I've just said, was in my top books of 2025. Well, it was an honorary mention because I read it right at the end of 2024, but it made the video anyway. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I did say in that previous video that I'm a little bit unsure on the way that this may go, because the ending kind of made it feel a little bit like this might be a little bit different in pace or sort of theme to the first one. But I'm really excited to read it nonetheless. The Watchers was the first book I read coming back to reading after about a decade away, and that really sort of got me hooked with it again and hooked into the sort of the horror genre. So yeah, really looking forward to Stay in the Light, and I'll let you know at the end of January, start of February, how I got on with that one. And next is a book I've seen really good things about, and that is The Ruins, which I know is also a film. Haven't seen the film. If I enjoy the book, which I'm sure I will, but I may watch the film afterwards. But yeah, I've seen quite positive things about this. I get a lot of recommended YouTube videos about the film of this. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to reading that. Yeah, I haven't read any of Scott Smith's things. Most of these authors that I'm reading, I'm going to be reading for the first time. As I said, I'm quite new to sort of the horror genre. I've been reading it for about a year. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. And seems right up my alley. But yeah, again, let you know how I get on with that one. And then next is one that I found in a shop just before Christmas, and then my girlfriend kindly got it for me for Christmas, and that is Curdle Creek by Yvonne Battle Felton. Again, it seems it almost feels quite similar to The Village, the M. Night Shyamalan film, in terms of its sort of setting and plot. So a town called Curdle Creek where only people can leave one at a time. So when one comes, one goes. And our main character, Asira, I believe that's how you pronounce it, it's her turn to leave the village and sort of discover what the rest of the real world is like, and maybe find out a little bit that her town and her life has not been quite as maybe good as she potentially thought it was. So yeah, really looking forward to that one. That one sort of piqued my interest straight away when I saw it. So very excited for that one. Next is quite a unique one. It is called Horror Stur. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I think it's Swedish, but it's by Grady Hendrix. And this one, again, really piqued my interest when I first saw it. So it's kind of set out to be almost like a sort of IKEA, what's the word I'm looking for? IKEA guide, IKEA pamphlet, that sort of thing. And on the inside as well, it's sort of set up to be the same. So welcome to Orsk, which is obviously this world's equivalent of IKEA, although it is made very clear that it does not, it's not affiliated by any furniture retailer or manufacturer. So it's 3 employees volunteered to take a night shift, and the sort of haunted house story, as it were, is set in what is this, like I said, this world's equivalent of like an IKEA store, and the entire book is laid out, if you can't tell by now, in the theme of a sort of, like I said, a brochure of a store like this. So really unique. Really looking forward to it. I have no idea what to expect whatsoever, but looks really, really fun. And yeah, really excited for that one. So next we'll move on to the manga that I'm going to read. I'm making my way through the Junji Ito collections that I have. As I said in the previous video, all of the ones that are stood up vertically there are ones that I finished, and I've got a few right there that are sort of laying down that are still to be read. I've got 2 or 3 that are going to be in my books that I read in December video that I'm going to put out probably a week after this one comes out. So yeah, so the ones that I'm reading in January are going to be Uzumaki. I've had this one. It was one of the first books I got of Ito's, but the sort of the size of it, I was like, you know what, I'm going to get through some of the smaller ones first, and then I'll tackle this one a little bit later on. And I think I'm finally at that point where I'm want to tackle it. Of it, probably his most well-known story. Town starts becoming cursed with spirals, basically, and everything starts turning into spirals. Anything from sort of the larger things you can imagine all the way down to the smaller things on the human body that you can imagine. And if you've read Junji Ito's, you can just imagine that the art is going to be horrific, graphic, and memorable. So really looking forward to this. It's like I said, I know I'm going to enjoy this. I've enjoyed every other one of his collections that I've read, and Gyo is the other sort of like full length story that I've read and really enjoyed that one. So yeah, really, really looking forward to that. And then the next one is another Junji Ito book, but it's a collection this time. So it is Tombs, which I believe is one of the more recent ones. I believe. I feel like I've only just seen it and only just picked it up, but to be honest, it could be months since I've got it. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. Don't know anything about any of the stories in it. I just go in blind with all of them. Some of them are hit and miss, where he has a lot of them are very, very full of short stories. And some of his stories are just kind of like, yeah, they're fine. They're just fine. Some of them are really, really memorable though. And I am going to be doing my top 5 Junji Ito stories so far video, because obviously I've still got a lot to go through, and I haven't got all of the collections. But yeah, I'm sort of in the works, planning that at the moment. So maybe some of these stories will make the list if I find them really sort of memorable. Uzumaki might end up on the list as well, but who knows? But yeah, really looking forward to that. There's always at least 2 or 3 really good stories in all of his books. So yeah, I always end up enjoying them, and I'm sure that will be the same again. And then the last thing is a new series that I'll be reading, but I have seen the first season of the anime. But that is going to be Delicious in Dungeon, or Dungeon Meshi in the Japanese title. And the anime was incredible. The first season was amazing, and as soon as I saw the first few episodes, I was like, I've got to read the manga. So it's basically it's your classic sort of fantasy, dungeon adventurers. That sort of classic D&D sort of party. You've got the sort of the warrior, as it were. And then you've got like the sort of dwarf tank, the halfling, sort of thief or rogue, and then the elf mage. Very, very classic. But the sort of the standout thing about this story is that they end up sort of eating the monsters that they defeat throughout the dungeon. And the main character, he is a huge fan of eating and making up these crazy recipes with the body parts of the monsters that they kill. So you can sort of see, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's still got a little bit there. So it's eat or be eaten, literally. And yeah, it's really, really funny. It's really good. Sort of the creativity of using the different monster parts to make kind of like this world's equivalent of real life dishes is really, really fun and enjoyable. And if you're a bit of a foodie, some of it ends up sort of sounding quite tasty, to be honest. I'll hold my hands up and admit that. But yeah, really, really enjoyed the anime. Really looking forward to reading that. I've got the first 3 volumes. I'm going to be picking up more as the month goes on, depending on how quickly I get through them, if I do actually get to them. That's why I've kind of left that one till last. But and I don't know at what point the anime gets to in terms of volumes, so that'd be really interesting to see. But yeah, really, really looking forward to that one. And yeah, that's it. So that's what I plan on reading. Like I said, I'm sort of going at it a little bit conservative. So 4 books, 2 sort of one-off mangas, and then starting a new series. So I'll be interested to see what I get through. If I do get through most of it pretty quickly, then I will just add something in there, and then cover that in the video at the start of February in terms of what I read in January. But yeah, if you've read any of these, please let me know down in the comments. Sort of spoiler free, obviously. How you found them, and sort of which ones I should be looking forward to the most. Um, and yeah, like I said earlier in the video, I'm going to link my top books of 2025 down in the description and probably the pinned comment as well. If you enjoyed this video and you've got it all the way through to the end, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. You please give a like to the video. Obviously, it helps it sort of get seen by other people. And if you do want to sort of keep up with my content in regards to sort of horror books and manga, then please do subscribe to the channel. Really appreciated anyone who has subscribed so far after my first video, watched it and liked it. You really, really appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. But take care, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.